I feel the need for speed. We all remember that iconic scene in the original Top Gun movie where Tom Cruise is belting along without a helmet on his Kawasaki GPZ 900R. Well, back then I couldn't afford a 900R, so I ended up buying a Kawasaki GPZ 750 and absolutely loved it. For a grand total of $2,700, it was the most bang for buck any teenage boy was ever going to get. And now I've bought this. This is my 1986 Kawasaki GPZ 750. Purchasing a bike I used to ride from when I was 18. Will it bring out me in a Maverick, or will it have me looking like a goose? Let's find out. Hey everyone, my name is Matt, welcome to Roads of Oz, and on this episode we're looking at my latest acquisition, which is a 1986 GPZ 750. So the GPZ 900R from the Top Gun movie was a liquid cooled, 16 valve, 4-cylinder, 4-carb production motorcycle, and at the time it was the fastest production motorcycle around, and that's why they used it on the movie. On this one is not quite so. The 1980s for Japanese manufacturers was really cool. They were prepared to have a go at everything, from performance right through to design. Now, Suzuki had the Katana model, which was designed by Hans Muth, and it was a beautiful shape. The Kawasaki GPZ originally was just a standard looking UJM, or Universal Japanese Motorcycle. It just had a simple bikini fairing and twin shock rear. 1983, it came up for a total redesign, and you saw this lovely fairing, and the whole GPZ range got a fairing similar to this one, single shock, and a few other goodies thrown in. Now, Kawasaki's flagship model was the GPZ 1100. It came with fuel injection. The 750 actually had a turbocharged option. Then there was the 750 like this. There was also a GPZ 550, and the GPZ 900R came in late 1984, which was totally different to this one. Now I know what you're saying. You said, hey Matt, you're going to cut down on motorcycles, and I did. I sold my CB125, and I wasn't really looking for anything, but this one come up. It come from a collector who had it stored for a number of years, and it was in the middle of a restoration process. So this one actually has quite a few new features, but let's actually take a proper look at it. Now, for starters, it's only got 46,000 kilometers, and I actually believe that is true. Now, if you have a look, there's a decal on the side there that should have worn off well and truly by now. The paint is in very good condition, and overall I'm really happy with the condition of the bike. And most importantly, it has all its original parts. And what I mean by that, even though it has pod air filters, I was given the original airbox, which I will eventually put back in. The reason I won't be putting it back in straight away was the carbs had been rejetted to suit the new exhaust, so happy days there. Anyway, let's go right over the bike. So we've got this really cool dash. But first, let's get this hat and glasses off so I can actually see what I'm doing. So here's that startup I was telling you about. So we turn it on, and you watch the startup go there, checks stand, oil, battery, warning light, and it's warning me that the stand's down. There's also a voltmeter. If you press this here, you can see there's 8 through to 16 volt range. Push that there, and it's showing 14, so that's probably out of whack because I doubt the battery is charged. I doubt the battery has 14 volts without it getting charged. But as you can see, 46,000 kilometers, and I have no reason to believe that isn't the case. You look at the overall condition of this bike, and it is very good. You have the usual wear and tear, a bit of patina, but overall very good. That's the new Delkovich exhaust, and it also comes with new chain and sprockets. So there's new chain and sprockets, brand new tyres. You can still see the knobbies on them, and overall very happy with it. So what's my plan for this bike? Well, honestly, better turn it off. Honestly, just ride it. Now, the reason I bought it is the condition. Now, I'm going to do another video later. Actually, will highlight the issues you have with bikes that have been kept in collections and aren't run regular enough. But it is a very cool bike, and another reason I like it. It actually runs. Choke in. Oop, too far. There we go. See, engine's cold. So and you let it warm up and it's perfectly fine. Now I'm not going to keep it running in here because I don't want to gas myself. I did capture footage of me when I first picked it up, and let's have a look at that. Alright, you need fuel? No problem. We'll get fuel. Yeah. So we'll get some fuel because it's flashing and getting quite grumpy. Oh my god, it is making me smile. They're brand new tyres, brand new sprockets. Looks like a brand new exhaust. So someone was restoring this before they put it in storage. Oh my god, this is cool. Alright, so I gotta remember everything is. Oh, bit of a wobble. Okay. Might have to check the fuel pressure, the tyre pressure. Now I'd say this hasn't been ridden properly for quite some time. Got a little bit of a wobble once you get to that 80 to 90. Overall, that's okay. Never going to stop and get some fuel. Rembler, nice. Wow, so these are tucked in tighter than I remember. I thought I was more neutral. I'm definitely leaning forward. Probably a touch more than the. Probably a touch more than the. Oh, bumps. Definitely a touch. I'm definitely leaning forward more than the Grisso. Oh, the memories. Might check the tyre pressure. I think the tyre pressure is a bit low. It's a bit oily, or is that just because it's a 35-year-old bike? Front brakes are strong. Feels a bit vague, which probably did feel the bottom out a couple of times. I might check the air. Alright. Let's get the alcohol on. Right, that's better. Right. Alright, so what doesn't work? Well, the speedo works. The odometer does not, or the trip meter. Not sure about the odometer. Let's have a look. So fuel gauge doesn't work. No problem. So these are things you've got to fix, and these are the problems you have. It's idling quite nicely, so it's probably the fuel sender. We'll look into that. Nothing major. But definitely don't want that flashing the whole time. That's going to drive me nuts. The front end's a bit wobbly, but again, got to run it in. I've got to fill up the top, check the tyre pressure. Tyre pressure is very important and something I'm terrible at, so we'll get it on. Because the tyres are still new on it, it's got to run them in anyway. responsive. Whoa, brakes are not modern. They're modern enough, but you know what I mean, you've got to be very careful with them. And also, again, this is probably the most Ks it's done for a while. And okay, so your trip meter's starting to work, I think. We charging? Yep, we're charging. Awesome. Alright, so yes, it's an old bike. Yes, it's going to have issues and we're going to have to fix them. What concerns me is if they've done a workaround. If this is playing up, they might have done a workaround. So we'll be testing that. But the first few weeks we're just going to ride this and see what pops up. What issues we might encounter. This was an absolute impulse buy, that's for sure. Sometimes you got to treat yourself. I tend to treat myself a little more than I should though at times, and I'm okay with that. Oh, listen to that nice, it's got a nice note. I'll be leaving the exhaust. I have no interest in originality or any of that stuff. I just want to have it in fairly good nick and so I can enjoy it for what it is. And that's a 35-year-old bike. Alright, so odometer, trip meter is now working. Like I said, a lot of this stuff probably just needs to be, needs a good, what's the word? Just needs a good run. And hopefully that's the case with the fuel. You fill it up a few times, it might come good. No knee-jerk reactions with it yet. But we're having fun. Oh, we're having fun. It idles quite well. But I've only done 5Ks on it, so let's not get too excited. So there you have it. Although it's not perfect, it's a great start. Now, the beauty of these bikes is they're not overly expensive. The only problem is, as these were the workhorses, they're getting harder and harder to find. They were ridden into oblivion. And what I mean by that is, by the time they got to the 10-year life cycle, people didn't want to spend the money to keep them running because they just weren't worth it. An example is I had to do all the valve clearances on mine, have the whole top end redone, and it cost me over $1,000. And for a bike back that was only worth $2,500 back then, most people wouldn't have bothered, but stupid me, I just persevered with it. But this one, I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to enjoy riding it. I will do a follow-up video talking about all the issues I had with it, but hopefully I'm going to have many hours of enjoyment out of it. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. I just wanted to introduce you to my new toy. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. Do you like it? Do you remember these bikes? Do you think I'm an idiot? No, don't answer that. I already know the answer to that one. Overall, I'll be thoroughly enjoying this bike and trying to ride it as much as possible. Because it's over 30 years, it was eligible for historic rego. That means I can ride 60 times a year. And in all honesty, most classic bikes, you're not going to ride more than 60 times a year. And that historic rego scheme here in New South Wales is awesome. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. If you found the video interesting or enjoyable, please like, share, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. It helps out my channel massively. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next vid.